Hi, I'm Adam Morin, and I was one of the Wallace family interns.
And I'm Donna Travinsky, and I'm a medieval historian, and I was one of the faculty mentees, I guess, mentors. Mentors of of Adam. I was Adam's mentor. Actually, it was Adam's project, because for his final project for a directed study we had last year, I let them do something, or we talked about them doing something quite creative, and Adam came up with this Byzantine board game, and it was wonderful. And then when I saw the call for people to apply to this internship, I thought it was perfect for Adam. So I sent it to him, and it was actually Adam who said, "Yeah, I'll apply." And so that's what happened. I see my mentorship here as part of an entire package of mentorship. Adam is, I think, doing an honors degree in history with me as his advisor. So this has been part of that package. But this has been a really nice opportunity, I think, for Adam and for me to get out of our comfort zones a little bit and think about how arts and innovation can go together. Well, of course, there's different elements that you bring to the fore. For me, again, I'm a medieval historian, so Adam, I think, he can speak for himself, but Adam, I think, really needed the things that the Center for Innovation can offer, right? That I can't. I can tell him what's historically accurate. Actually, really, Adam can do that as well. So, I have a sense of what might work, but in terms of what might work as a business project, what might work as a business plan, it was nice to be able to have other people come in and be able to help him with that. So I had always heard that, I'd always thought that arts and innovation were interconnected. And as a humanist, we're these days increasingly put on the spot to sort of show our relevance to the business world. Frankly, the world at large. and so, of course, I think an important part of innovation is creativity, and arts has a lot of space for that creativity. And so, clearly they're interconnected in that way. I actually think you need a background in the general liberal arts to be successful in all kinds of walks of life. So, from management to business to entrepreneurship, you really need that foundation, and then you move on into various careers, including things in entrepreneurial endeavors. I would probably like to do more learning on the entrepreneurship side, because I was really on the academic side. Even as Adam's mentor, I'm the academic person. I'm not the entrepreneurship person. So I think just getting involved for me as a faculty member meant that it opened doors and made me understand a little bit more about other sides of the university that I didn't know. So for that reason, I would encourage them. Certainly, I would also encourage them as part of the overall sort of what we do as faculty members at X. It's it's part of our job to encourage our students in all kinds of ways. And I think innovation and entrepreneurship, you would never have thought that medieval history and entrepreneurship might go together. But here's a case where they do. And for that reason, certainly when I talk to my colleagues about it, I say, there are ways in which even things that seem entirely irrelevant, I'm not saying medieval history is irrelevant, but many people do. And there are ways that even then that we can work together and encourage our students in innovation. What we do in the classroom, we want people to go out and do things with it. And so this is a way in which we can step out of the classroom and encourage our students further down potential career paths. Well, I'd absolutely like to say thank you for giving Adam the opportunity to have this fellowship, because that was, I think that was a great experience for you. Absolutely. I can't believe how much the project and the business plan changed. Quite a bit. There was a lot of learning going on this summer, and that was really terrific. But I would also especially like to say thank you to the selection committee and the Wallace family for thinking pretty widely about how innovation might work and looking at a project like Adam's and funding it.
All right, so I'm Adam Morin, and I'm a history student at St. FX, and my entrepreneurial idea slash venture was to design, develop a board game that is based on the Byzantine Empire. But it's a little bit more than just a standard board game. It attempts to be a historical recreation of the experience of being in the empire. So, for example, you start off as the governor of a small province. You get paid the exact same amount of gold you would have in real life. You get promoted in the same way you would have in real life. And all the choices you face as you go through the game are all a reflection of the reality of being in the Byzantine Empire at the time. So, my goal for the game was to be more than just a game that's fun to play, although hopefully that was the case. But it's intended to be an immersive experience into the Byzantine Empire, which is a facet of medieval history that I'm absolutely fascinated by. So when I started this internship, my main focus was the game itself, developing the game, tweaking the game, working the kinks out, playing it through, with also an eye to setting up the business side of it, understanding that it is an entrepreneurial venture, more than just a prototype unto itself. Mm-hmm. Well, as Donna mentioned, the game started out as a class project, and that being the case, it was due on a particular date, which had to be finished on a particular date. So because of that, there were a few aspects of the game, especially relating to gameplay, that maybe weren't the most historically accurate, but I sort of more or less had to shoehorn in it to get it on time.
Although it was enjoyable.
Although it was enjoyable to play, as we found out, but so as the internship progressed, and I realized that I actually wasn't happy with the product as is. That if I released it at that moment as is, I wouldn't feel that it's a proper reflection on how I felt about Byzantium or what I could do with this game. So I think the great advantage of the internship was that it gave me the time to really work on the prototype and really bring it to a level that I felt it should be. In particular with the game, I added an intrigue section. I also revised a lot of the battle mechanics. I also added a lot of detail that really, I feel, makes the game a lot more richer and a lot more immersive.
I also noted that when Adam started this project, he was thinking in terms of just breaking even. Mm-hmm. He wasn't thinking in terms of making some money and reinvesting. But I think one of the things he's clearly learned here is that to look maybe towards the next project, the next innovation, and to start trying to figure out how to fund for that with the profits of this one.
That's it. Well, right, and that's something that I'm still debating. It's a balance. But yeah, so is that good for that question? Or? All right, cool. Well, the Wallace internship experience was fantastic. The main thing for me was that I come from a purely academic background, and my interest is purely in medieval history, right? So that being said, I had absolutely no background in entrepreneurship, starting a business, anything like that, or even from a family background for that matter. So a lot of the basically the Wallace internship basically allowed me to do two things. It gave me the time to really work to get the product right to where I wanted it to be, and it also gave me the skills and helped teach me the skills to just the basics of how to start a business. Mm-hmm. How do you start a business? How do the finances work? How does business law? How does contract law work? The nuts and bolts of setting up a business and seeing your vision to helping your vision become a reality. That's really, for me, that was really the benefit of being a part of the Wallace internship.
And those are skills you'll have forever.
That's right. That's right. So one thing I certainly learned about myself in this entrepreneurship is the idea that starting a business is really a two-pronged process. You have to have the idea and the product that works. You have to also have a level of application of the nuts and bolts of starting a business, the finances, the law, et cetera, et cetera. And what I learned about myself is that those two aspects of a business are clearly demarcated, and I personally belong on one of those sides. i.e. the creative end, the product development end. Because as I mentioned before, I'm a history student and I plan to go to graduate school and in fact stay in university as long as humanly possible. Which is not to say that, or I should say that my primary goal in developing the product was to put it out there, because I love Byzantine history. I've been passionate about it for years, and I want to share that with other people. I want other people to experience the sort of joy you get from studying such a fantastic place and time in history, right? But the process of putting that out there requires a certain level of business mechanics, which the internship was fantastic in helping provide to me, given that I don't have a background in this. But I also learned that these two aspects of the business experience can be clearly demarcated, and it's okay to not be the entire package, because there are people you can hire to handle the business aspect of it. But my purpose in doing this was was idea driven, and really just to get the love of the Byzantine Empire out there. Everything else, the business mechanics, the business law, the business finances, isn't unique to me or isn't unique to anyone. Hence, a level of collaboration is not just desirable, but in some cases necessary. The internship absolutely related to my academic endeavors. I'm a history major with a focus in medieval history, and specifically a concentration in Byzantine history. So to develop a game literally called Emperor of Byzantium that attempts a recreation of the Byzantine Empire dovetails perfectly with my academic ambitions and goals. My educational business plans are largely remained the same from the beginning. Upon completing my degree at St. FX, I plan to go to graduate school for medieval studies and plan to pursue Byzantine studies as a career. My vision for the business is such that it remains. I would like to. I have the final prototype for the game now, but I would like to. People have been playing it, yeah. So as regards to business plans, I've completed a prototype for the game. I've set up a business called Purple Boots Gaming, which I won't get into now, but directly relates to the game itself. And my plans regarding the business are largely the same as they were at the beginning. To put the game to print and to sell it. To allow people to play it and to allow people to experience the joy of being back in Byzantium. In terms of the future for the business, I'm not overly interested in it becoming a huge company or anything of that nature. I simply want to get my idea out there, and the business is the best vehicle to do that. So getting the idea out there was my idea from the beginning, and it remains my goal. Well, the advice I would give an aspiring entrepreneur is do your homework. Business, especially for someone like myself who had no business background, learning the intricacies of business law, how to do finances, how taxes work, how the GST numbers work, even something as simple as registering up for a barcode for a product that you have. It's not a simple two-step process, and there's a lot of research that's involved. So my advice to people who are looking to become entrepreneurs is number one, do your research, and number two, and probably this is the most important thing, is make sure that it's idea driven. Make sure that you have a product, that you have an idea that you want to put out there, and then the business comes, and then perhaps the profit comes. But I think putting the cart before the horse, as in saying, I want to start a business and I want to be profitable, now let's find something that make that happen, I don't think that's the right way to go about it. I think entrepreneurship is idea driven, and so long as you remain in that mindset and do your homework as regards business, then you'll be fine. Well, what I would like to say to the sponsors of the Wallace Family Internship, and Mark Wallace in particular, is thank you for providing this opportunity. not just in terms of helping foster the ideas that myself and other students have, but also just in terms of giving me the skills that I need to really start a business and to run a business successfully. The business is not something that I had any background in, and this and the internship really provided me with the skills and the tools that I need that I can apply to any venture moving forward, not even necessarily this one. All right. I'd also like to thank my mentor, Dr. Trembinski. She's been a fantastic help all the way through. She was my academic advisor, and as such, she pointed me to several books and articles that actually wound up being invaluable towards developing and restructuring the game. I'd also like to thank Sue McNeil. Sue McNeil has been fantastic all the whole way through. She's been a reassuring hand at all times. She's absolutely been fantastic, cheerful, great to work with. I can't say enough good things about Sue. And I'd also like to thank Raphael and Carson, my fellow interns, who've been friendly, fantastic people, interesting people, fun to be with, and fun to work with. And I think this internship we've made a lot of friends in this internship, no question.